Rage Whale. Making waves over movies.
Press a different one. Never mind.
Press the wrong button.
Yeah, well, it's still good. Still works. Welcome to Rage Whale, episode 21. Kev, James, and Drew. Right, so we were teasing a couple of things on the last episode, and we thought we'd just jump straight into it. There was two things, but the first one was a question that Kate asked was, have we ever seen any famous people in the wild? Not necessarily met. You could have just spotted them from afar or seen a film thing
Well,
happening.
I'm quickly going to jump off and back on, because whenever you faff around with that media button, it crashes the app and puts media board as the main screen, and you two are tiny little dots in the corner.
So do you need to go away and come back again?
Yeah, bye.
Right. Shall I just stop it and start again?
I don't know. Do you want to restart it? I don't know.
Or is this part of it?
This is the episode that never was.
I thought a little media thing's quite good, and I get, oh look, now we've got the quadruple again.
Yeah.
And then I'll show this for the audience. That's what we see now. We see two Jameses. One happens to be on his side.
Every time James jumps off, he clones himself, like Hugh Grant.
Well, every time Kev faffs with that media board, it crashes the app, because the app is a bit shit.
So the question about Kate said was about, have you seen any famous people in the wild? She says she remembers when she was in Shanghai and she was on a rooftop bar and she saw
Wolverine,
Nicolas Cage, surrounded by, she put in inverted commas, very young models all around him, and she wasn't bothered about the younger women. She could think of that he just reminded her of a meme, because he's like all the memes, and he.
By the way, do you need me to jump off properly and come back on, or it's not going to mess up the?
No, it goes after a second. You're gone now. It's just you now.
Fair enough.
So James, have you seen any celebs?
Do you know what? Honestly, no, not really. I've only seen a few famous people in the wild, and I wouldn't really say they were famous. Like, I saw John McCurrick in Soho once. Remember him? But he had the big coat on. He had his cigar, and I remember one time, actually, going back to Reading Football Club. There was a time where I thought one of the players may or may not have a suspicion I was stalking him. It was a guy called Noel Hunt. He played in the Premier League for us, relatively sort of well-known player. His brother, Stephen Hunt, played for us as well. But Noel Hunt, I went to a game once at Reading, obviously, and took a bit of time to get out, and just by the stadium there's big curries. So I went in there for a little potter, having a look at a TV, and he was stood right next to me. I was like, oh, cool. Next week, a few days later even, I was in the Oracle in Reading, and I was using the loos downstairs. I was going to the loo, look around, he stood right next to me, going for a wee. And I was like, this is getting weird. And then about a week later,
it was getting weird to him.
Yeah, about a week later, I was in Costa Coffee by M&S in Basingstoke. You know, the one on the corner? Opposite H&M. And I heard this little high-pitched Irish voice going on in the background. And I turned around and he sat there, like, having a coffee. It's like, one of us is stalking each other. Like, the chance of seeing the same person, the chance of seeing someone you know 3 times in 2 different towns is highly unlikely. But seeing the same person who's a professional football player in the Premier League 3 times, might have been Championship, either way, 3 times in the space of like 2 weeks is pretty unlikely. But I saw Drew once when I was going to London with work on a train.
Well, he Drew didn't see you.
Yeah, that was quite funny. I was saying to my mate on the way up that, like, wherever I go, I was like, I always bump into people. I've been to Andorra, bumped into someone I know. I've been to Egypt and bumped into someone I know. All these places. And he was like, all right. We got out at this train station to use the toilet. We were driving up. And we're just waiting for everyone to go for a wee. And then he shows up. I'm like, you all right, mate? And he's like, you having a laugh? It's like...
Very good. You got any, Drew?
Yeah, he will.
I've got a few, man. Actually,
I'm sure you got loads.
If I may.
I've got kind of loads as well. But yeah, go and you say one and I'll say
You
one.
two lived in London though for a long time, didn't you? So I'm not surprised you saw that. I saw
Yeah.
someone from Hollyoaks once on the tube, but I can't for the life of me think of her actress name or character's name.
I saw Kieran Hines on the
Who?
Eurostar.
Who's that?
Kieran Hines, he's in that new TV series called Dry.
Don't know
Kieran
that.
Hines is a great Irish actor. He was also in Munich with Eric Bana. Is it Eric Bana?
Yeah, go on then.
Anyway,
What was he doing?
well, he was just sat on the train, and I was looking for the toilet, but I was so bewildered that I saw him, and he was really cool, man. Because I was in that ridiculous cocky stage where going, mate, do you mind if I get a picture of you? Because I was like, obviously, I was at drama school at the time, and just like so hyped to see him, and he was cool, man. He let me take a picture with him, but it was just funny because I was like, oh yeah, shit, I needed to go to the toilet, so I'll see you later, dude. It was like just hanging out with Kieran Hines on the Eurostar. It was just so random as well.
I just thought of another one, sorry, quickly, before I forget. It was the late, do you ever used to watch Goodness Gracious Me?
Yeah.
You know the Indian lady that wrote that, who was also in EastEnders for a long time?
Yes.
She
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
Masood, maybe, or something?
Yeah.
I saw her in a shopping centre in Staines.
Why are you in Staines?
I was doing some like weird job interview thing.
Did you say hello to her?
No, I saw. No, why would I say hello to her?
Oh, you just saw it?
She's massive these days. She's in loads of stuff. She keeps
Well, I
cropping
said
up.
hello to Kieran Hines. Do you know what I mean? I don't know Kieran Hines. It's not like, hey,
I've just
there's
realised
Kieran.
who Kieran Hines is. I
Oh,
very
him.
much know him. I definitely know him. I
Yeah,
would
man.
never have known his name.
Yeah.
Strong hairline.
He was
Yeah,
in
he's
Belfast, which came out recently, which was really good. Tinker
Does he
Tailor.
only do films that are named after places?
That's actually quite good because obviously it was in Munich.
Munich and Belfast.
He's got a new one coming up. I've just seen. It's called Stoke-on-Trent. It's pretty good. It's got Jean-Claude Van Damme in it.
Nice.
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a little reminder to say, check out our social media handles and follow us on Instagram and TikTok if you're not already. If you enjoy this podcast, why not share it with friends? And better yet, rate the show. Thanks for your time. Now, let's get back to the mayhem.
Oh, that brings me neatly. I wasn't even going to mention him, but
Oh,
Claude Van Damme. I mean, is that seeing someone in the wild? Because I worked with him technically. Because
No. Kev was his stunt double.
I work with people like that these days. You know.
hey.
Like the
You're mingling
Stereophonics
with the
guy.
stars, Kev. You're mingling
Oh
with
yeah,
the
I met the
stars.
stuff. Yeah, but that's it. If we go into meeting people, I've got an infinite list because of the music, band, photography I do.
Yeah,
so
same. I've got a bigger list if it goes to that, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
gone. You're gonna.
well, actually, mine aren't as random then in that case, but they're still pretty big people. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I performed on the Old Vic stage when Kevin Spacey's dog jumped up and joined me, and I managed to somehow incorporate it into my monologue. And I remember afterwards, he said afterwards, "That's great that you overcame the dreaded never work with children and animals. I like that. I like that." And it
Then he
was
touched you.
huh? No. But I remember though when we were doing the 24-hour Old Vic New Voices, and I just remember him there holding his Starbucks coffee, coming in the room, and then just looking around the circle and just saying, "How you feeling? How you feeling? You feeling good? You feeling good?" And we're all
When
like,
you said he was coming in the room, that's COM, because we all know what he got cancelled for.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Hi,
he
Kev.
entered the room. The room.
It's what you call your anus.
And then I did
Jesus.
a Meisner class with a phenomenal Hollywood actor I'm sure you will recognize, Jeff Goldblum. And
Yeah, I've heard of him.
he is as lovely and bubbly as everyone says. And we were doing like the Meisner technique. And he cracked a joke about the book. And I said to him, is it me or was the book monotonous? Because you got to repeat phrases with other actors. And I said, for like at least 20 pages of the book, people are talking about tennis. Do you play tennis? Can I play tennis? I'll play tennis with you. Can you play tennis? Let's play tennis. And he actually managed to incorporate Meisner technique into Jurassic Park, which is really cool. And he talked about the bit where he goes, are you scared? I'm scared. Are you scared? I'm scared. And it's like the idea of using that kind of echo
Okay.
technique.
But do you play tennis?
He played tennis during while he was getting chased by the
That sounds
Tyrannosaurus.
very sexy, James.
Do you play tennis?
Do you
I was born in the dark.
I was born playing tennis.
I was
Twang.
born with a tennis racket. And
It's
then,
cool. And work with Jeff Goldblum.
he was at the Old Vic. Him and Kevin Spacey were performing. I can't remember the name of the play that they were performing, and
Annie.
it was
was Annie.
oh man, it was by a very, very famous American writer, and I cannot remember.
Emmanuel in Space, the musical.
No.
That's the catchphrase.
That is the one. Okay, and my last one before I hand it over to you, Kev. I made Judi Dench laugh during filming Mrs. Henderson Presents. So me and a few friends were doing some extra work, and we were doing a scene that was far away from where all the extras were staying, in some kind of like sheltered kind of like airport hangar thing where we were all hanging out. And the whole sky opened up and this massive storm just like engulfed us all. And they're like, oh, well, the closest kind of like trailers or area is actually where Bob Hoskins, bless him, the late Bob Hoskins, and Judi Dench are over. And I was like, are they going to mind if we kind of crash their trailer? Like, but it was like we were soaking wet, wearing like all this kind of like war uniform, and I had this fake mustache and all this stuff. And I remember saying to Judi Dench when we arrived, we were chatting about some things and the complexities of like filming and the awkwardness. And I said, well, at least you don't have to wear a moustache. I can't actually believe I said something like that to Judi Dench. And she just laughed her head off. And
I can't believe that you used the word moustache rather than moustache.
Oh, it is moustache, isn't it? Well,
yeah.
Wait, do you say moustache or moustache?
Only if you're posh and from the 1920s.
I've got a moustache.
Yeah,
well, I was playing somebody that spoke better
English
like
gentleman,
that.
and you're in war-torn Britain. That's
yes,
what
at least you don't have a moustache. Moustache. Anyway.
That's probably why she laughed. She probably thought the joke was terrible, but the fact you said moustache tickled her.
And then on the same job, I poured some soup out for Will Young because he sprained his wrist during one of the war scenes. Where
he sprained his wrist doing that.
Where he had to carry someone out.
What the hell are you on about?
He had to carry someone out of a blown up like building and all the rubble. Have you seen the film Mrs. Henderson Presents?
No.
Yeah, it's a film. It's a movie with Judi Dench, Bob Hoskins, Will Young, and during the take when he's carrying this girl out of the building, they did it so many times he injured his wrist when he's carrying.
Will Young doing that, no?
The singer.
Will Young, the singer. Yes, the singer.
Were you in the film, or were you just like hanging about?
No, well, I was an extra. Unfortunately, that was before like I fully had finished drama school or even had a chance for any other stuff.
Well, yeah, Will Young hasn't been around for 20 years, has he?
Well, exactly. But yeah, that was. But it was weird, just like pouring soup out for him and going, "There you go, dude." And I was like,
"What type of soup was it?"
I don't know, minestrone. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Cool.
That's me.
Well, I feel like you're cheating with people that, I am because it's people you've worked with. It was more like someone you spotted, but we've both worked with someone that I think at the time they weren't huge at the time, but now they are. Mark Stanley.
Oh yes.
So Mark Stanley, James, you'll know this guy. He's in everything at the moment.
Yes.
He's in everything. So me and Drew did a film with him, like a little short with David Elliott, and now he's been in Trigger Point, The Reckoning, the one about what's his face? Now then, Jimmy Savile. He's in that. He's the reporter. He was in Happy Valley.
Season 3.
Yeah, Happy Valley, The Bay. He's in loads of stuff, and we work with him. But also his partner, I don't think they're married. His partner, Rashenda Sandel. She's also in everything. She was in Black Mirror, Star Wars, Hijack. She's in Hijack with Idris Elba as well.
Oh,
did you know that? Yeah, she's in that. She's in loads of stuff, absolutely loads. Other people I work with on films, I work with Miriam Margolyes, Professor Green,
Tim
Lucy,
Roth. Tim
yes,
Roth.
Lucy Pinder, bizarrely. Who else was in that? Larry Lamb, Georgia Locke. Oh, you know James Lance? This guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in Ted Lasso. Worked with him. Took his
Yeah.
photograph.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
Also, Jenny Funnell. Funnell. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. She's fantastic. She's from As Time Goes By, that old program,
Ah,
but she's still appearing in stuff at the moment as well.
I've just thought of another one that
Mr.
I
Spall as
actually
well.
saw in a place where we all worked.
In Curry's.
Mhm.
Very.
A guy, his name is Lee something, and it was when his show was still relatively new, and he now
When-
goes by the name Keith Lemon.
Oh, I forget his name
What?
now. What is his real name?
There was a
Lee.
guy that works at Curry's who actually went into writing for Channel 4 or something. He came in with the guy who was then playing Avid Merion in the early Bo Selector days when he had the neck brace and that. His name's Lee something, his real name.
Wait, and he worked at Curry's with us.
No, he came in.
He came in because he used to work at Curry's, and Keith Lemon was with him.
Wow. It goes to show you can come far from Curry's.
Another one from that film I was in is this young lady here who's fantastic, Georgia Locke. I don't know if you
Okay.
recognise her at all. James, you see
Lee
her?
Francis is his name, by the way, in
That's
real
Lee
life.
Francis, yeah. So yeah, this is Georgia Locke. So she was in a couple of smaller films, and she might be hitting it big because she's in a brand new film directed by Elizabeth Hurley's son,
Ooh.
Damien Hurley. Elizabeth Hurley's in it as well, and it's called Strictly Confidential, and it's out now abroad, but it's about to come out.
But
in
see,
the UK.
this is like what
And look,
James was saying last time.
she's second billing on the poster,
Hey.
so that's pretty cool. But again,
Timothy Spall.
I'll get to him. Don't you bloody worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I worked on a film with Timothy Spall, the absolute legend. But also in that film was also Phyllis Logan from Downton Abbey and all that sort of stuff as well. She played his wife. But yeah, that was
Do you want
Timothy
to tell them
Spall.
the really cool? Do you want to tell them the really cool thing though about?
Yeah, he's not. I wouldn't say method, but I was chatting to Timothy Spall, and he would not come out of his accent that he was portraying. And I did think he was a bit old because I wasn't there for when he's getting his makeup done. I just thought that was Timothy Spall. I worked with him for about a month. On the very last day, he came out of his trailer and we got like a photo together because he wouldn't abide anything that wasn't film all the way through. And then when it stopped, he became a different person. And he looked about 10 years younger because they made him look like an old man. I thought that was him. That's how good the makeup was. I didn't think he had makeup on. Obviously, like basic makeup, but they'd aged him by like 15, 20 years. He came out sprightly and young and bounding around, whereas before he was like, walking around like that. And he was like grumpy and stuff. But he was so good. Not quite method, but he did say, "Oh, can you take a photo of me quickly?" And can I wait a minute? I need. And he grabbed an item and goes, "Now you can take a photo." And then he went, actually, and he grabbed something else. Now take a photo. And I was like, okay, now please step aside from my eye line. I'm like, no worries, Mr. Timothy Small. But he was so
Well,
pleasant.
I was actually going to say that the poster.
Oh,
isn't the poster they use is the amazing shot that you took?
Yeah, it's on. It's really weird. Is it Netflix? It's on BBC. It's on Prime. My photos come up on TV occasionally.
Boom.
So did Drew's on Crime Watch,
which is really weird.
Yep.
But
I
anyway,
hope it's my good enough.
all that stuff is that I don't think any of that stuff counts because there's only a few. There's no stories behind it. I'll just name a few people because apart from like people working with Jean-Claude Van Damme and stuff like that, who is fucking nuts in real life. Anyway, people
Shit, I know people famous. Sorry. So when I worked at the Dominion Theatre I was working in the green room, and they go, "Oh, we've got quite a high end client coming this evening that you'll be looking after." And I was like thinking, "Who's the hell's that?"
Can I guess?
And literally,
Is it going
go
to
on.
be Brian May?
No, that
Dominion
was a good guess.
Theatre,
Though.
we will rock you.
But he comes there frequently, man. No,
Decent guess.
so it was no. Hang on, I'm getting this confused because I've been in so many
You
different
got a
theaters.
guess for him.
It's sorry. It was when I worked at Wicked, and that's not at the Dominion, I don't think. Anyway, it was Helen the Bonham Carter, man.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and she is the coolest cat. Like, she
Yeah.
came in, she bought these new shoes, and she was practicing her lines, and she was even running lines with me, saying, "Do you mind if I run lines with you for this film coming up? I'm
Would you say
playing
no, fuck off?
the Queen of Hearts in the new Tim Burton film," and I'm like,
Yeah.
and then she was just saying loads of
Great movie, by the
lovely
way.
things, and she's just so nice.
I've seen Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter in real life as well, because I lived in North London, so I was always in Camden. And if you don't know, by Camden there's Primrose Hill, which is the literal park called Primrose Hill, where you can see the London skyline, the London Zoo. But it's also, if I had money, that's where I'd live. It's the sexiest part of London. It's like
Oh yeah,
a few minutes walk to Hampstead Heath, a few minutes to the grime and dirt of Camden and all the cool music. So I was just walking past, and they both got out of a car. I think they just lived there.
nice.
I also saw what's Matt Bellamy from Muse. I chased him. I was driving through Primrose Hill because our office was in Primrose Hill. So I saw him, and I couldn't stop because I had people up my arse in the car driving. And I had pulled over.
What are you doing in the car?
He started walking up Primrose Hill. So if you know the park, it's literally a hill. There's no flat bit. As soon as you enter that gate, it's like that, and then it goes down again into Maida Vale. So I chased him up the hill in a suit in sweltering heat, and then he dipped over the other side. And then when I got to the peak, he'd clearly done a little jog down the hill.
He was trying to get away from you, Ken.
He was miles away, and I was like, "Damn it!" And then I saw him like a month later in Glasgow, headlining for the Drones tour. How weird!
That's crazy.
But yeah,
I
apart from
saw
that,
I saw an amazingly famous person who goes by the name of Connery.
Sean.
Yeah. So
No
I
way.
went to see what was it called? The Black Watch in Edinburgh, and I was there with a couple of mates, and we're watching the audience, and then this crazy lady wearing all this really obscure like leather stuff, and we're like, what is she wearing? And then as our eyes turn to the person she's with, this amazingly charismatic, tall, handsome gentleman, I was like, holy shit, that's Sean Connery. And he was the first person to stand at the end of the show. He started the standing ovation and the clapping. And
Yeah, if he did
I
that,
remember
he'd do it.
speaking
He'd
to
copy.
a couple of my mates afterwards who were in the actual play, and they said they'd never been more nervous because the producers that night said, "Oh, by the way, just to let you know," and they'd only been rehearsing for a few weeks, and this was like one of the first shows. They're like, "Oh, so Sir Sean Connery's going to be in the audience tonight." They're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So I was so glad that I got to go to that particular show, and it was
Amazing.
incredible.
And I've met his son. Not really. Is Billy
Were you
Connolly?
taking pictures of his son?
No, Billy Connolly. When Billy
Oh,
Connolly,
yeah,
when Billy Connolly presented his award for outstanding achievement in cinema or something, he went, and this award goes to my daddy. And he's talking about Sean Connery, just winding him up.
That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Billy Connolly is a beautiful man. But
Oh, he's a legend.
yeah, the other couple. So yeah, just because living in London, I see them all the time. Like I'd see Roisin Connerty, the comedian.
Oh, the one that used to do
James
terrorist jokes.
No.
I
No,
think so.
Roisin
No, she's
Connerty.
blonde woman.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 cats all the time.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's just a comedy. She's
I got that
comedian,
so
she's
wrong.
brilliant.
I got that so wrong.
Are you talking about Catherine Ryan? Because I see her all the time as well.
Might be.
She's funny. Not heard her do a terrorist joke though.
No, I've bumped into Catherine Ryan a couple of times in Crouch End. Her and Roisin Connerty both live in Crouch End. Also, who's the Doctor Who guy that swore a lot?
There's been a few.
Peter.
Peter.
I want to say Sellers, but it's not Peter. Hang on.
No, although
Okay.
the house Peter Sellers lives in Highgate. I used to drive past his house all the time. Yeah, but anyway, the ones I was trying to say, when I worked in Muswell Hill, North London, our office is next door to a little corner shop, and there was a man loitering outside our office in a big leather jacket, and I went outside to see why he was loitering. He was massive. You know how like movie stars are all short? I saw Clive Owen, and Clive Owen is massive. He was just
He would have been a great James Bond, by the way.
he looked
Peter
like
Capaldi.
Terminator. He was standing there, and he had black sunglasses on, black leather jacket in the sweltering heat. And it was just,
How good is that film? Is it Shoot 'em Up?
I know the one you mean. Is it Shoot 'em Up?
It's not Shoot 'em Up, is it?
Is it him?
Peter Capaldi. Yeah,
Peter Capaldi, yeah.
yeah. I've just seen him wandering around Crouch End as
Yeah.
well. They all live
As you
there.
do.
Because it's
I thought he was connected to Lewis Capaldi for some stupid
No.
reason, but
Crouch End and Muswell Hill is a very arty-farty part of North London, so you see all these people all the time. And also, I was driving in Muswell Hill on the Broadway, and I stopped at the zebra crossing to let an old man walk across. Who was it? Tom Wilkinson from the Full
the late Tom
Monty,
Wilkinson, man.
from the Full Monty and Batman.
Yeah.
He just walked across, and you know what? A week
Wow.
later, I saw him again. I went into Marks and Spencer's, not because I'm posh. That's the only shop that was near us because it
Yeah.
was a posh area. So we walked into Marks and Spencer's, and it was Christmas time, and he gave a wad of notes to a homeless guy.
Wow.
Just gave a wad of notes to a homeless guy, and then went in and he did his shopping in M&S at
What
Christmas
a
time.
ledge, man. What
Absolute
a ledge.
beautiful guy.
Yeah.
It was Shoot 'em Up with Clive Owen, where he gets his
Shoot 'em
fingers broke at the end. Has to shoot with a carrot.
Yeah. I remember that film. I remember them being better than people remember, I think, as well.
Movie.
Also, the big one, everyone knows Chris, Canadian Chris Donahue, our friend.
Oh, yeah.
Me and him were just walking around London. I can't remember why. I assume just going for a drink. But we're in like Piccadilly Circus area. It was summer. Oh yeah, we were going. We couldn't be bothered to go to a pub. We were going to go to Green Park by Buckingham Palace. There's a little M&S opposite the road. You can go in and get yourself a couple of beers or drink, and then go into Green Park and sit down and have a picnic. It was just me and him at the time, and we went to go and do that. And as we're crossing the road, just where the Ritz is, so we're literally we're here, road's here. It's a big fuck off road. It's got an island in the middle, so you have to cross twice to get across. And we're there, and when you say a joke, it's not meant to be racist, and it's not that. There's a black guy across the road, and he's got Kangol hat on and a Kangol like
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel Jackson type gear, and me and him were joking. We're like, look at that guy, looks well like Samuel L. Jackson. And we got to the middle, ignored him because he was a mile away, so we didn't pay attention to him crossing because it wasn't going to be him. Obviously, we got to the middle, and he was like a foot away from my head, and I double took, and I looked at Chris, and he was already double taking, and I went, what the fuck? And because it's a busy road, you get ushered across, and we got the other side. We turned round and we're like, should we go back? And it just felt too late. And we messaged all our mates. And I remember messaging Hutchie, bizarrely, and Hutchie just goes, no picture, no proof, no evidence, it didn't happen. I was like, fuck.
Damn it.
But Chris will back me up. We brushed shoulders pretty much with Samuel Jackson outside the Ritz. It's like,
That's amazing.
but we Googled it afterwards. He was filming Captain America, I think it was at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
What came out like 2012-ish? It was like around that time.
Name a Marvel film.
Yeah, exactly.
My
Did you see that funny interview, by the way, with is it Michelle Rodriguez?
From Fast and Furious.
Yeah, where she's going, oh, how many Marvel films can you really make? Come on. And they're on like Fast and Furious 12 at the moment.
Yeah, there's superheroes and lots of dynamics there, and you're making a film about a car. Like,
Well,
there's only
that
so
heist
much
Fast
you
and
can do.
Furious stopped making sense after the second one.
didn't they say that the latest one is on the moon or a planet or something crazy? Like it
Wouldn't surprise
literally
me.
starts in space.
So ridiculous. Those
Well, I think they
films.
already went to space. I've not seen them,
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
was
pretty
like, you
sure
have
they
to sustain your
dropped the
disbelief. I'm
car
like,
out from space and
Yeah.
like on the
Oh
stratosphere.
my god.
It's
I
getting
haven't
crazy.
watched any of the new ones. I stopped at like, I think the first one The Rock was in, and just
Yeah,
thought
that
it was ridiculous. So I was like, I'm not watching anymore.
I stopped watching them after sadly Paul Walker left us. He was brilliant.
He
That's
was
what
only
I
in
had.
the first one anyway. No, he wasn't. He was in a
the
few.
first two.
They
But that's when it
CGI'd
had-
him, didn't they, in the last one he was in, so they
That's
could
when
all
it
say
had
goodbye to
glass.
him.
And then Tokyo Drift was quite cool as well. That was quite cool. But
They
yeah,
brought Paul Walker back though after he died, didn't he? And put scenes in, and then they all said goodbye to him at the end of the beach.
yeah. It was a powerful. Yeah, it was a. Yeah.
I've got
Going back to famous people real quick. My mate James Mackenzie Thorpe, who I used to be an usher with, when he was at The Lion King, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie came to see the show, and I remember James was just telling me, like, as he came through the door, Brad Pitt was coming through the door, and he was like, oh, and he like opened the door for Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt said something like, "Oh, thank you very much. How you doing?" And James literally forgot how to say his own name. He just went, and then Brad Pitt was like, "Cool," and they just kind of went off. And then James was like, "How did I lose literally the ability to speak?" He's like an actor, director.
Imagine that.
And
That's
yeah,
like
wordsmith.
big time. That's why if I'd like when I crossed that road by the Ritz, if that was any other actor, like just a standard, big but standard actor, I'd have ran back. Because it was Samuel L. Jackson. When we got to the other end, we both went, "Should we go back? We should definitely go back." And then we both bricked it. We just went. He's probably not the most approachable guy on a. I was like,
I've got a story.
I'm not up for that.
I've got a story about that because my mum and my auntie Janice, when they were in America, they saw Samuel L. Jackson in a bar, and they had a few drinks, and they were like, "Can we get a photograph?" And he was just kind of smiling and nodding or whatever. And then they're like, "Oh, he's going to say yes." So like my mum and her sister are getting prepared to go over, like all dolling themselves up, redoing their lipstick and stuff to get in the photograph. And these two bouncers come over and they say, "Can you please stop bothering Samuel L. Jackson?"
I'm sure I reckon he's proper cool, but certain times,
Yeah.
you got to leave these people alone. I think that's what's
I
good
don't know how
about.
many drinks they had.
I think that's what's good about London is the sense that you have these people around and they just walk freely because no one approaches them because it's their home almost. Well, not him, but
Shit,
things like that.
guys, I've got a really cool one actually. I met James McAvoy, right? This was
No
mental.
fucking way. That was the next guy I was going to say. I've met him more than you. I put money on it.
So yeah, but my story is ridiculous because I make a complete tit of myself.
Mine's more ridiculous.
Okay, well this is exciting. So
James, you've got to be the judge. Which story? Make it short. But which story is the most ridiculous, James McAvoy?
Only if you promise not to remember anyone else, because this whole episode is going to be us
Famous people.
answering one
I've
question.
got two, and then we'll stop. James, Drew.
Oh, for God's sake, he's got more.
It's quick.
Anyway, I came out of the restaurant. I can't remember where it was. It was on the Strand, and I don't know why I'm near the kebab stand or something, and then I see McAvoy there buying a kebab of all things, and I come over to him and just say, "Sorry, dude, I just want to say, mate, you're an absolute inspiration to actors of my generation. Like, I know a lot of people look up to De Niro, Al Pacino, but you're the guy. You, Cillian Murphy, and Hardy, you're the guys."
You diminished it straight away by labeling other people.
I know, right? No, because I was saying that you're better than that, in my opinion, because you're closer to us. They seem like a miles away. Anyway, but he literally, like, he's holding the kebab. I swear to God, he wipes the grease on his own jacket to shake my hand. Like, what an absolute ledge. And I shake hands with him and I say, "Mate, I just wanted to say that you're Scottish in what was the Scottish film he was in with Gillian Anderson? Oh fuck!
Scottish film with Gillian Anderson. Are you on about the pandemic one? That
it's. Hang on.
Think quicker. He's not in
I'm
anything
trying, mate.
with Gillian Anderson. He's in Atomic Blonde, Split.
No.
X-Men, Muppets, Phil.
It's the one he's famous for with it's Last King of Scotland. That was it. Last King of Scotland, which is so embarrassing. I said, "Mate, your Scottish accent, Last King of Scotland, was absolutely flawless." And then obviously when he's speaking and he's fucking Scottish, and I didn't realise that.
How did you not know he's Scottish?
Huh?
How do you not know he's Scottish? Was it like 20 years ago?
But then I said, because of his English accent in Atonement was flawless.
Yeah, he was in Shameless as well. That's where he started, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. He's so good. Like, because
And he was in
friends of mine
Wanted
that are
with
Scottish actors,
Thingy Bob, with Angelina Jolie.
friends of mine that are Scottish actors, they're not always great at accents. But McAvoy is such a chameleon that I couldn't tell. I was just like, he's so fucking good.
All
But
right.
he just laughed it off.
All right, I'll beat you. I was working
Oh.
as an estate agent in London, and I
Mhm.
went to show a £1.75 million property around the corner from our office, and it was James McAvoy who turned up. And I wasn't expecting him, so I shit myself because it was the person I was meant to be meeting was Anne Marie Duff,
Yeah,
his ex-wife. Well, his
yeah.
wife at the time.
But she's still famous as
They
well. Yeah.
split up recently after, and she's lovely, and they had their small kid with them. So I'm showing them around this massive fuck off house.
As in a child, didn't have a baby goat, no?
No, baby child.
Oh.
Well, it was like toddler, like maybe like 6, 7, something like that, running around.
6 or 7. How old do you think a toddler is, Kev?
Well, I don't know. I thought your kid was 8 years old the other week, didn't I?
Crying out
It's
loud.
5, right? So anyway, he's somewhere between 3 and 10, and
On the scale of toddler. Yeah.
he can
He was
speak.
25.
He can speak, but he's just running around causing mayhem. And I would expect them, like, not in a bad way. Like, the kid's just being a kid. He's just being cool, doing his own thing. But they're keeping control of him, but not being strict parents. They're just being friendly. Put that down. Let's come over here. Let's do this, and then entertaining him. And James McAvoy was. I think I fell in love with him because he was looking after his kid. The kid wanted to do ploppies, and he asked permission to use the toilet. I said, yeah, go ahead. And he was like, I'm so sorry, pal, and took him in. At no point did we mention films. I didn't say, you're fucking James McAvoy. I just was pleasant the whole time. And I was, because my Scottish is worn down, I don't think he even knew I was Scottish. I hoped he would have brought up that conversation. But anyway, I'm in a house with him, in a £1.75 million house. I'm trying to convince him to go see the £2.5 million house we've got towards Stroud Green, Frinsman Park area.
Upsell.
And he's
Upsell to
like,
McAvoy.
we'll get back to you. But yeah, just with his kid running around doing toilets and stuff like that, it was pretty bizarre. And
I did
I
it
showed
too,
the same
Drew.
house the next week to Carl Barat. Do you know him?
Carl Barrett.
Barrett. Was he from?
Yeah. Strokes.
No. The guy with that does all the drugs.
Oh, Libertines. Sorry, Libertines.
Libertines. Who's the
Yeah.
clinger?
Pete Doherty.
Pete Doherty. And he's pretty tall as well. Yeah.
You don't
Carl
have to
Barrett's
disclose this
brother lives in
information. Kev.
Woodchurch, just down the road from us. Ollie
don't-
Barrett. He's friends with my friend.
Yeah.
Would you get a percentage if you sold that? Would you? How much percentage would
course.
you get from that house?
What was your commission percentage?
Yeah.
For that, it would have been 400,000 to 2.5, 3, about £5,000.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Just for that
That's
one.
not bad for
bad.
a day's work, though.
That wouldn't be the only house I'd sell that month. I'd sell 3 or 4 others.
Did you sell him a house?
No, he never called
Drew
me
wins.
back.
Drew sealed the deal. You didn't.
Okay, there was only one story I was going to say because I talked about it in the last episode, and this is the last one. Remember, we're talking about Graham Norton, and I mentioned this is going to lead on.
Yes,
people
you
we
have to
met,
say this one.
and
Yeah.
it brings up the person we were talking about in the last episode as well. So, my friend Michael Sikora, I don't think I'm allowed to go into detail on how it works out, but he's got a connection to Graham Norton, family-wise. And anyway, so he invited me to come along to go and see a filming. We wouldn't know what actors are going to be on the seat, but we went to this recording of the Graham Norton show. And first person up, I wasn't really fussed about. It was Jamie Dornan.
Yeah.
But at the time,
Billy Elliot, he's good though, man.
This was
Belfast.
This was like maybe 10 years ago now.
That's not Billy Elliot, by the way. That's the 50 Shades guy.
I know. I got confused.
Yeah. But
Billy Elliot is the one in that All of Us are Idiots film.
at the time, Jamie Dornan, I'd only heard of him from 50 Shades, so I hadn't seen him in anything. So it wasn't really a big deal to me.
As in, you literally haven't seen him in anything, including
Jamie
clothes.
Bell. That was it. Jamie Bell. Sorry.
But I saw Jamie Bell in Muswell Hill as well. He was filming it on the Broadway. Bizarre.
Nice.
I've seen everyone.
You should have punched him
I've
for
got,
his future work.
I could have 50 stories. I've seen so many people dotted around, but I'll
It's
focus on
stories
this
of
one
bread.
and then we'll end it. But yeah, so watching it, he sat on the sofa. He's really funny. I'm like, oh, this guy's cool. Who's next? Whoopi fucking Goldberg pops onto the
Whoa.
seat. I was like, yes. James
Sister
is playing hide and seek behind his mic. You know, your mic doesn't have to be in shot. You can lower it or slide it.
Yeah, but it looks better, doesn't it?
He likes it now. He likes it.
Yeah. It's not even a mic. It's
just a hairbrush with
It's
sponge.
an upside down guitar.
one of them muscle relaxers.
Yeah.
I might put like Mr. Whippy in there next week.
I wanted to get like a logo, like a Ragewell logo printed on it. People have
That'd be
that.
sick.
That'd be cool.
We're still in the process of getting one, though.
We
I
don't
think.
have a logo, which is
Yes,
if there's
yeah.
any designers out there, by the way, that want to work for free.
Arzu. I've still got 2 more people to come to this chair, right? Whoopi Goldberg's there, right? But this isn't even the story. The next person that comes out,
James just got an Uber.
James will love this person. His name means
Michael Caine.
wind over mountain.
Keanu Reeves, baby.
Keanu fucking Reeves. He was like 15 foot away from me. I was like, Jesus, this is the coolest night ever. I mean, those two are cool, but Keanu Reeves, I was like, I'm done. I'm happy. I don't care who comes out.
Die happy man. Like, yeah. Wow.
But remember, he's not the headliner. There's still one more person to come out. Who comes
Washington?
out? Denzel motherfucking Washington. Denzel in the house. Right, so that was a cool episode.
I'm jealous, dude.
That's not the important bit. Because we knew Graham Norton, well, my friend knows, like, goes for meals with him, goes to his house. He's part of the family, kind of.
Were you taking pictures? Did you take your camera?
Yeah. I've got a photo of Graham Norton. But
Yeah.
the stars, they get ushered out. They're gone. And then at the back, there's a green room. So you can go for drinks. It's quite big. There's probably like 50, 60 people in there. So we went back there to go for drinks. And Graham Norton pushes his way through this crowd of people and comes over to us and introduces himself to all of us. And we have a chat. But on the way to me going to the green room, it's a bunch of people going to the green room. And there's this massive fucking black guy. Like, he's huge. He's like 7 foot tall, 7 foot wide, terrifying. I move out the way of him because there's not enough room in this hallway for him. And then I recorrect myself. And as I recorrect myself, I smack shoulders with someone. And I go, oh, sorry, mate. Denzel Washington. I fucking like body checked him.
Never clean that shoulder. Never wash that shoulder.
I forgot to say, that photo project I was doing, that was there. So there's a photo at the very beginning when Graham Norton, before they start recording, Graham Norton does a little bit of stand up for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, my niece is here and she wants to get a photo on the set. So I've got my niece, Michael, and Kevin. Do you want to come down? I want to do something at a different stage, but so I was on the stage. I was on the sofa. And I took a photo of my friends on the sofa, and he went, what do you want, Kev? And I was like, I just want to pretend that they're a guest and you're laughing at their jokes or something. And he went, great. And he grabbed his wine and he went,
wow.
His head back, went laughing. And those two looked engaged, and I just took some photos.
Have you got the shots?
Yeah, I got the shots, yeah. They're not perfectly in focus because I wasn't prepared. I thought we were going to do something at the end. But he just goes right at the beginning. He goes, "Come on down," and everyone like clapping. It was like a proper like round of applause for like no one knew what was going to happen. Weird,
dude.
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
Have you seen Dune 2 is already on Prime?
Yes.
Yeah.
And on
also,
it's on Disney as well.
Side note: I believe there's a brand new Jimmy Carr stand-up just come out on Netflix.
Yeah. I forget what it's called now.
And also, it is playoff season, so for every single episode now, I will be wearing a Lakers jersey. Woo! And when I stop wearing them, we don't talk about it because that means we lost. Okay. An interesting fact:
natural born killer.
This is number 44 for the Lakers. Anyone idea who that might be?
No.
I'll give you a clue. It's a white man.
It shouldn't be in the German font. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the German football shirt. We've seen that with number 44 pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is a guy called Jerry West, who was a white guy and very famous in the NBA because he is...
Is he tall?
No, he is right here.
Well, he's old. Yeah, I've just Googled him.
He is the logo.
He's the logo.
He's 85 years old.
Yep. Jerry West is the logo.
Wow,
That's him now. There is in his youth.
that is so cool.
And
man.
it's a proper old, like, sort of cottony, real old stitched on
Did you
shirt
ever
as well.
Did you ever play the NBA computer game? You know where you bounce the ball around and you go, "It's on fire!" And you
That's
like,
NBA Jam. Yeah, that was a great game.
There's the
I do
logo.
play it sometimes. I played a real NBA game, which is quite
Nice.
good. There he is, Jerry.
that is so cool. That's sick.
I mean, they could have got a better logo than that, to be honest. Let's be frank.
There's
better logo.
There was always rumours of them changing it to Kobe, but it never happened.
I mean,
Okay, I think we should get you a T-shirt saying "Let's be frank," because that's your quote. That's your slogan. Let me be frank. Let's be
did
frank.
I say that?
Let me be frank. Yeah, man.
Oh. I am frank.
So
I
every
would've got
episode is going to
together a
come with a very
trailer.
short.
Got together a trailer of you just saying, "Let me be frank. Let's be frank." If I could be frank, you're Kev. But if you could be frank,
You're going to get a very short LA Lakers history lesson per episode, and if we get to the playoff finals, you're going to know loads about.
Why don't you give us like a little fact? Well, you've given us a good fact this time. Give us a little fact every episode.
yeah, man.
Okay.
To talk about Frank, has anyone phoned Frank? I phoned Frank once.
Really?
Yeah. Don't
During
get
difficult
to a place where you need to phone Frank.
wow.
It was an accidental thing. Probably shouldn't have mentioned
Frank.
it.
Frank.
Anyway,
And
That's
Frank.
life. That's life.
I've not called Anne Frank. That would be
Sinatra.
different.
That's life.
Right. So that's 45 minutes in. We've answered one question. In fact, we answered questions from Kate 2 episodes ago.
I think we should just thank Kate for creating a couple of these episodes. They were born out of those questions.
Yeah, thank
So-
you. And we've had questions from other people as well. We'll get to maybe on the next episode. But I think on
And
this,
please feel free to leave us questions, guys. Like Kevin said in one of the other ones, DM us or email if you know the email. But DM is probably a lot easier because email takes effort.
yeah, just send us a comment or a message. Not a problem. On
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, whatever you
Or
fancy.
YouTube or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Did anyone want to discuss
How
anything
are
in
we gonna-
particular? Because I think we've watched a few things recently. I don't know what we... Let's let James decide. What
How are we going to wrap this off?
we've got... Shut up. Well, how are we going to ram it off? So, have we got? Do you want to chat Baby Reindeer, or save that to next episode, or
Ooh.
Civil War, Back to Black, or any other suggestions?
Let's quickly cover Baby Reindeer, but let's not give too much away because it is quite new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very difficult to talk about it without spoiling it. So let's say,
I would say
nothing
it's. What would you
plot-wise.
count it class as? A psychological thriller?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, without giving the plot away,
There's comedy in there. There's lots of comedy.
it's a comedy
There
writing.
is. It's almost like a black comedy, isn't it? Like,
Did it remind you? It reminded me of the Joker, but like if the Joker went really dark side.
yeah, very well cast.
Well, it's
Well, it's written by him,
well,
dude.
did you watch that thing Drew sent? It's his story. It's true.
Yeah.
Really?
The
Guys,
guy
can I
that's
just
the
say
main
though, like-
actor, he wrote it. It's his and
It was a
directed it.
one-man show in Edinburgh. So those really uncomfortable scenes that we're all thinking about, how did he do that as just one person on stage?
Did we? Oh, we didn't set this up for people listening. Baby Reindeer is a new 7-part series on Netflix, available now.
Yeah.
They're only like half
British
an hour episodes.
drama.
And it's
It's 8 episodes, isn't
7.
it? Is it 7?
It's
It's random.
it's Richard Gadd, and if you don't
He's
recognize his
amazing.
name, I wouldn't. He's the main star, but he's been in a few things. But he has been a writer on programs like Sex Education, and he's done writing for comedy shows like The Last Leg. So he's very good at what he does, basically, and he's acted in a few things as well. But
But
this
he-
is his own story, which I didn't realize.
Yeah. I didn't realize that, mate. I'd say it's such a brave account of something that he's gone through to not only turn it into a one-man show, but to then turn it into a TV series to go back through that trauma and complexity.
Yeah, I
It-
can't.
it's
And
so-
that thing you sent across, he said on the one man show, he was saying, "Do you want a cup of tea?" No, thank you. And he was playing Martha by turning
Yeah.
being a different person.
So playing all those different characters, but it's like
But should we say the general premise without giving anything away? It's
see when he broke down though, mate, during the making of, when he explains about saying I put my parents through a lot.
well,
and,
yes. But
it was hard to go back
I'll
through.
read
this.
what it says on IMDb because it doesn't tell you too much. The trailer's obvious. It's a stalker program, but it says the story follows the writer and performer who's trying to be a stand-up comedian, basically, and his warped relationship with his female stalker and the impact it has on him as he is ultimately forced to face a deep, dark, buried trauma.
Yeah.
That's a good thing
Well, yeah,
without saying anything.
The irony
very
is the
dark.
stalker isn't the worst part. The stalker is just like...
Yeah, the ending is brilliant. How they he finishes how he starts,
Yes,
but in a role reversal.
That I was like, oh yeah, that's really, because that's the problem with like these things, that they're so good and then the ending's so shit it leaves you really pissed off. So this was perfect.
But also, guys, like how he managed to make like 45 minutes or an hour episode based on a 2-hour or 90-minute play is actually ingenious.
They're all 30 to 40
mean?
minutes episodes. They're shorter.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're really short.
Yeah, they're not that long. They're good. They're a good sort of amount.
Episode
I
four
read through the first 4 or 5
the
in
chunky
one night.
one. I think that's like 45 minutes. And that
I did 4 or 5 in one night.
Yeah,
but it's also funny. Like it's really darkly comic. Like
comedy
it's really
writer,
funny.
and he said in that program that you sent around that it's too devastating to tell it beat by beat. I had to put jokes in there. Like,
oh man,
he goes,
it would be too bleak.
Because that bit where he goes to the police officer, he goes, she's stalking me, she sent me loads of messages, and it goes beep beep, and he goes, look, there's one, and shows it, and it goes, I just ate eggs for lunch or something, and he's going, I would say that's threatening, sir.
yeah.
He's like, damn it.
It's brilliant. It's so
good to turn on the police officer's face when he Googles their name, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you never really know what she did because they don't give it away, do they?
Well, obviously,
it keeps. Oh, sorry. I was going to say it's a bit like an onion, though. It keeps peeling away layers, and there's loads of twists and turns, and it keeps you guessing, man.
Yeah.
It's really, really.
Well, I
really
thought the
well
police
done.
officer, when he noticed that, he's going to say what we, the audience, already know because she already did that to like a barrister or a lawyer.
Yeah,
it seemed way worse, didn't it?
But it was worse. It was the police officer. So when she goes, everything will be fine. The police are on the case. He goes, yeah, but you just said she's already done this too.
Yeah.
So we can't really say much. That's why
it's so good.
We need to do like spoiler special.
Mate, I was saying, like, if again, like at the TV awards, I really hope Richard Gadd gets to go up for some serious awards because his acting, like one of my favorite moments is when he decides to do the stand-up show, but it becomes more of a confession to an audience. That is just incredible.
Yeah, that's a huge turnaround. I'm blown away by him. I didn't really know who he was. And I'm like, why is this guy that we don't know the main poster on this thing? Like, because the woman that plays Martha, she's been in, that's Jessica Gunning. She's been in loads of stuff and loads of good stuff as well. Did you ever watch The Outlaws on BBC? That was written by Stephen Merchant. And it's got people like, it's got Christopher Walken in it, bizarrely. But she's in it. It's like a little BBC comedy called The Outlaws, and it's like they're all like reprobates that got done some minor crimes, and they get told to go to this community centre and paint it. That's it, just for that. And bizarrely, Stephen Walken's there for like no reason.
By the way, I've got a great Christopher Walken video for you guys. And anyone that wants to watch it, just Google The Fighter and the Kids. Stephen, you've got me saying Stephen now. Christopher Walken story. I'll send it to you. You both have TikToks, don't you?
Yeah.
Good. I'll send it to you. It's really funny.
But
don't worry, I'm trying to get the poster good, but you can't. Hey, kind of. Oh.
You look like one of these people trying to scan a code at like the Every machine.
There you go.
What about
there you go from that angle.
What about it?
Son of...
This must be what the Every machine feels like.
Hang on, wait, maybe.
Can you do it? Can you do a Stephen Walken act?
Yeah.
James, I can't see anything.
Walken. Stop saying Stephen.
Well, you'll see it in the mix. You'll see it in the mix.
A couple of records ago, I'm talking about Stanley Kubrick, and I say Stephen Kubrick.
Doesn't go unnoticed, Kev. We just don't want to.
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my voice?
I love it when we mess up, like it's like the dyslexia in all of us.
I deleted it so no one can hear that because I was so embarrassed by it. It's so stupid. But luckily I said the name twice. I went, so Stephen Kubrick in Clockwork Orange. So Kubrick, what he did is, so I just cut out the Stephen Kubrick because
stop calling people Stephen.
You're revealing your secrets now.
I mean, I don't cut much.
A magician never tells, Kevin. A magician never tells.
Yeah, well, you got to cut a word every now and again.
But also, just going back real quick, I love the title and how it's connected. Like again, that's that kind of peeling away the layers till you
The
you see
title is what made me want to watch it. 'Cause I was
exactly.
curious.
Exactly, but
And
I
it
love
doesn't give
films
anything
like
away
that.
till the very end. You're like,
Yeah,
and even then, it's like, oh,
where it's like
Even if you
it's
read
like
the plot,
Blackbird
it
or
doesn't really give a lot away.
all these different films that have like animal names, and you're wondering what the connection is with the characters or the plot or the story. And it's Baby Reindeer is man, it's a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece, man.
I
People are
would
gonna
say
love it.
it's close to, yeah.
yeah.
I'd say, guys, though, if we're recommending that, as we normally say, guys, this is our recommendation. Just be aware that it comes with a lot of. It does actually have trigger warnings because there is some very uncomfortable scenes of a very graphic nature.
But also, if you're an adult and you want to watch something that is thought provoking, entertaining, funny in places, and deep and meaningful, you're gonna have stuff like that. You can't just watch sugar coated bullshit all the time.
No, it's true. You can't shy away from it. And
Even Sadie said, I don't know if I'm putting words into her mouth here, but I'm pretty sure I said, because Drew, you'd recommended it, you'd said this is good, and I was like, oh, another fucking thing I've got to watch. And I just went to Sadie, do you fancy watching Baby Reindeer? And she went, nah, looks a bit depressing. I went, fair enough. And I didn't think about it. And I had time and I put it on myself and I watched one episode and I messaged Sadie, went, because she works from home a lot. I do as well, but I'm out and about. But she works from home for quite a long period of time. So she just put stuff on in the background. And I went, 100%, put it on. I was gripped within less than a minute. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
And the whole episode was entertaining and it ended on a cliffhanger that I want to watch the next. So I said to Sadie, it's not depressing. Watch it. It's really good. It's engaging and fun. And then by the time she started watching it, I just started episode 4 and I went, pull out, revert.
Houston, we got a problem.
It's not what I thought it was. And she was already, she'd already seen the same thing I had. And she was like, no, it's good. I was like, good. But you need to
It's tastefully done though. It's tastefully done.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I still can't get my head around that you've told me this is true. I cannot believe it's true.
Yeah, man.
It's so like, how many different things can happen to this fucking guy?
I know, man.
8.
Yeah, about 8.
8 in 7 episodes.
But he's so confused. But would he have been confused if nothing had happened? Everything was plain sailing, or do you think it was a good thing that bad things happened to him that brought him out of his shell to be able to confront it and be his true self? Or would he have found that?
I think it's interesting because it's like he was trapped. The trauma created some like maze of his sexuality, which I thought was fascinating. That he was so confused as to where he was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think everyone needs bad things happening to them, but how many bad things have happened to us? And at the end of it, you go, right, I'm going to be a better person because of that, or I'm going to take things more seriously because of that, or I'm going to look after myself better. Because, bad things promote good things in the end, usually as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, people say like, it's like a catalyst for change, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, you don't want bad things happening, but
yeah.
Right, should we wrap up?
That's what he should have done. Sorry, did I just become James for a second?
I think he swapped roles.
There is quite a lot of condom jokes. These last routines got condom jokes.
Oh, really?
What do you mean, oh, really? The bit where he's got the little clicker and he goes, condoms. And he goes, what about if you want condoms in your McDonald's? He goes, condoms, Whopper condoms. He goes, what if you're in a helicopter and you're eating your McDonald's? And it's a Whopper condom in a chopper. It's play on words. Do you not pay attention to that?
Yeah, we can all agree he was a terrible comedian.
Yeah.
But did it remind me? It reminded me of Trainspotting in some of its kind of poetic nature. It had kind of Irvin Welsh kind of vibes, I thought.
Yeah.
With the kind of narration and the way that it was all kind of pieced together. The guy's a genius, man. Incredible writing. The only thing that upsets me when you see shows like that is when they finish, you're like, nothing's going to be as good as that.
Yeah, but it's not a program I'm excited to watch again. I don't think I think I'm done with it. It's not rewatchable. It's just
massive jump from Baby Reindeer, but Fallout. Holy shit! On Prime.
I think
you played the game.
That might be more James's thing than mine.
I thought I didn't enjoy the game, if I'm honest. But I was quite crap at the game, to be fair. Those massive cockroaches kept killing me, so I probably couldn't experience the game that well. But the TV series is genius. 8 episodes, really
Might
well
start
done.
that tonight then. I want to watch Jimmy Carr first, though, but I might save
Is
that.
Jimmy Carr out
Yeah.
now?
I think so. It came at the top of my banner.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's out now. Natural Born Killer.
Yeah.
That's going to be ferocious.
Oh, also, do you guys remember Blue Lights? That really kind of gritty drama.
Yeah, I just started
about police?
yesterday.
Yeah, series 2 is out now.
I just
man.
watched the first
Boom.
episode of series 2.
There were like 6 intense episodes for season 2. I'm like,
I needed a
"Fuck."
recap. They started it, and I can't remember everything about it. So halfway through watching, I'm going, "Oh, that's the guy that did the thing in the last series," and things are
Blah,
coming
blah,
back to me.
yeah.
But you needed a recap. I hate it when programs disappear for a
Kev's
year
own recap.
and you don't get a recap.
Previously on Blue Lights.
Yeah, just like remind us who these characters are. We've seen a billion programs since this was last on.
It's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
The arrogance that they think we're just there waiting for Blue Lights to return, which we probably were. But
No, that was a good one, to be fair.
it was
Do you want
amazing.
to push your
All
button?
right, then.
Push your button.
See you later, guys. All right, thank you for listening to episode 21.
Thank you, Kate, for
Which
creating
is on a
21.
Monday. Look out for episode 22 coming this Thursday. Also, just to remind you, we don't normally say this, but a lot of you are listening and watching us, but our followers are not going up. So please just click the follow button on Spotify. That would be amazing. It helps us, and click 5 stars. That would be delightful. If you're on YouTube watchers, I've just realized how to make shorts
I'll get a heart.
like Instagram clips. So I'll be putting shorts on YouTube as well. Drew, stop trying to do weird stuff. You can't do that.
What do you mean? It's a love heart.
I can't do the heart, so Koji's thumb
It's
up.
not inappropriate. I'm not making.
Oh, that reminds me. That bit actually reminds me of a scene from Baby Reindeer.
Or Fallout.
Baby Reindeer.
Yep.
Oh no, you don't want that. You don't want the thumb.
We'll finish on that note.
No one wants the thumb.
Thumbs up.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for listening to Your Movie Podcast.